But yeah, I'm feeling this little wig. I tried to do like the lace. It is a lace wig, but it ended up sliding back. So then I just pulled my edges out and was like, fuck it, it's gonna be a piece. But yeah, I didn't put out a video because I'm not in the mental space to do so. Hey everybody, it's Kamiyah, and I'm back with another video. This one came at a random time because, listen, though I don't have, like I said in my Kaya video with Kaya and CS Medicine, I do not have the tools, I don't have the setup. We'll get a mess over here. But what I do have is me and my name and what I'm going to give you. And so today, I want to talk about what do you do, or what do we do when we get down and out and depression starts to get the best of us. Many of you don't know, but I happen to deal with depression and anxiety and a lot of things. And a part of my depression stems partly from a trying times that I had in 2016. Roughly from 2014 to 2016. It wasn't just 2016. And just a traumatic childhood. And when I say traumatic, I don't want to use words that are just like devil terms that we use in communication. I don't want to use devil terms to trigger anybody to be like, oh, you went through, my childhood wasn't, it wasn't no precious ass childhood, but a little bit of neglect here, a little bit of abandonment there, and the story of the grandparents raising the grandchild. That is my story, and one day I'll go into depth when I'm ready to kind of just open up. But I just been so down lately, and when I say down, I mean like right now I could be doing homework and I'm not, and I just been in this rut. And instead of what I usually do, which is check out, go into recluse, try to, I don't want to deal, I don't want to talk or whatever, I'm going to try to work. I'm going to try to give you a video. But I'm also doing this because I understand that I'm not the only one who goes through, spouts of depression. I'm not the only person who goes through, moments of just feeling like you don't have it or you're not worth anything. So why not talk about it? And why not also bring up the conversation of mental health in the Black community? Now, I don't know if you know, and I don't necessarily have the statistics. I don't want you to think that on Takini Talks I'm going to always give them either, okay? But I do know that Black people, based on my experience, we tend to shun the idea of mental health. We definitely, now I will say in most recent years, it definitely has become a conversation, but in order for things to change, you got to do a little bit more than conversation. It's good that we even got conversation. It would be great if we started to go seek help. But I'm also understanding that, sometimes some of us don't have the funds to get therapy. We don't have the funds to have insurance, but we have each other, and so the first things first I wanted to talk about the stigma around mental health. And based on what I've learned in high school, well, in college, based on what I learned in college, I took a minority class, and I learned that the African American community does have high rates of depression, but we also have high rates of non-treated depression. And as you can imagine, those things lead into different avenues, such as, suicide attempts. They lead to, sometimes I had a class with somebody who said his depression affected his daily life. Like sometimes he was unable to get up and go to work. So I can only imagine, if I was to bring up the details and things of that nature, what mental health was really doing in our communities. And if I was to really talk about mental health in underrepresented communities, I can only imagine how many things would be solved if we simply just encourage people to go get help. And so this conversation is basically me just saying, I am down and out. And yeah, I have been neglecting school and neglecting the things that mean the most to me. But I'm learning that my journey is not just my journey, and I'm learning that my purpose is not solely for me. I am the person who likes to have the tough conversation, who likes to acknowledge tough topics within the Black community, and I have no problem in saying that God ain't gonna solve everything in the Black household. And I'm okay with saying sometimes we need to go seek help. And sometimes it's more than prayer. Sometimes you need to go see a professional. And that's okay. Y'all can tell I'm feeling this. But that's just my little tidbit, my little 5-minute conversation. I didn't want to have a long video simply because I just don't have it in me, first of all. Before I do go, I did want to talk about Kamiyah Mobley. And I was going to do a video in detail. I don't know if you guys know who Kamiyah Mobley is, but she was a girl who was abducted as a child. And she was on Iyanla Fix My Life recently. And a few quick things before, because I don't have the energy to necessarily give y'all a whole video. A few quick things. I hope that we refrain from automatically labeling that girl an angry Black girl. And I hope that we refrain from writing her off as another ghetto girl. What you guys saw on display is something that I used to most certainly deal with. Anger, rage, something that I used to most certainly battle as a child. Now, if you ask my grandmother, she'd probably be like, yeah, she was bad, she was horrible. I wouldn't say I was on the level, I wasn't easily as triggered as Kamiyah, but I definitely was her. I am Kamiyah, Kamiyah is me. And because of that, I want to make sure that we understand what it looks like when we do not acknowledge our pain, and when we do not tackle trauma. And that idea of living in a household where you're not allowed to necessarily sit in your pain. You're not allowed to necessarily feel, which is a part of that strong Black woman archetype. And that's something that I've always wanted to dispel. I did a video about that as well. I just wanted y'all to make sure that we do not judge her, but we also don't let Kamiyah, the Kamiyahs of our community, we don't let those girls, fall under the wayside and fall on the wayside, because they matter too. And though I understand it is very hard to work with people like her, but it's also important that we understand them, because there are so many Kamiyahs of the world, and there are so many angry Black girls. But as you can see, Kamiyah had every reason to be, and she was so unaware of her own emotions, and so she was such a product of her environment that she wasn't even able to assess if she was mad or hurt or angry or sad or what. It came out as rage because she wasn't given the space, a safe space, to thoroughly feel. And I just want to make sure, like I said before, we don't let these girls go underrepresented in the Black community, because I feel like there's so many of Kamiyahs. I am Kamiyah, Kamiyah is me, and I hope that this is supposed to be a short video. It ended up being long, y'all. See, I can't even keep my word. Anyway, I want to thank y'all so much for watching. I know I didn't bring much personality, but when I'm down like this, I don't really have it. I am feeling this hair, though. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for rocking with me and my janky setup. Hopefully I can look back at these videos and see my growth. But until then, go watch my last video. Subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.